Ariel, welcome to the program.
All right. Thanks again for having us and look forward to the discussion.
Well, Ariel, I recently saw that you received a $1.7 million Small Business Innovation Research grant. Can you tell me a little bit more about why that is the case?
Well, it's interesting. We think that there's two key agencies that we need to work with. One is obviously the FDA, and the second one is the NIH, because it's kind of giving us a path to open up, I would say, a deeper validation on our technology platform.
Very good. Well, glaucoma and its treatment is very important these days. I understand that IOP Connect is based on an implantable IOP sensor platform smaller than a grain of rice. We've heard a lot about treatments, but an IOP sensor that's actually implanted is something very new. Tell me more about how you came across this innovation.
Absolutely. So first of all, I had a direct personal experience with glaucoma through my late father. And, it kind of gives you a different perspective because you know what a patient is going through. In the early, I would say, 2008, 2010, I keep seeing people like from Purdue University and others looking into IOP monitoring. It was kind of, people trying bits and pieces of technology, but not really understanding unmet needs. Back in about 2012, 2013, we're really seriously looking at what is the solution that we thought would be most adequate.
And I suppose this product is going to be very important for things like monitoring diurnal IOP fluctuations. Is that correct?
Absolutely. In fact, to look at even further, there is one area beyond diurnal. There is the nocturnal aspect that clearly is where we see typical elevation of IOP due to the body position. So if you lower the blood pressure, you increase IOP. So it's contradictory to what people usually think.
We also have been monitoring the impact of telehealth for a while now. And it seems like this is yet another device that will extend the power and efficacy of telehealth. Is that correct?
Absolutely. In fact, it's kind of the missing link because quite a few, patients, 65 and up with COVID, they are more vulnerable. They don't want to see the doctor face to face. So what happened is they can do a lot of things. They can look at the eye through a video link and so on. But how do you measure the pressure? So this is kind of where, this link is going to be above and beyond what you could do with a home care, IOP measuring device like eye care, which are really not the best approach. So telemedicine with our link will complete the whole picture.
I'd be curious whether, changes in pressure underground could also affect IOP.
Well, absolutely. First of all, the surrounding of the patient, the body itself, is going to an equilibrium state between the blood pressure and what's happening in the inflow outflow. So typically, the surrounding of the patient doesn't have a direct impact. As a side note, a sensor can go from the deep sea all the way up to the Everest, and you will measure with the same accuracy. So we do not have, I would say, we're not impacted because the system is designed to take the atmospheric pressure out of the equation because we report gauge pressure.
As I mentioned earlier, there have been grain of rice or maybe, something like that sized therapeutics already in the glaucoma space. Is there a reason why diagnostics have followed rather than the other way around?
Yeah, that's, first of all, I think the main reason of the miniaturization, the implication, the constraint you have to address is the delivery of the device and minimize the size of the incision to go into the body. That's kind of, for therapeutic, you do IB internal delivery, for a mixed device. That's where you can do a self-healing incision of the cornea. We are following the same approach, but we do that on a pars plana.
Compliance is yet another issue that's faced oftentimes by ophthalmologists in the glaucoma space. And do you think that this device will help to advance the cause in this issue of compliance?
Absolutely, because instead of focusing on a single data point, we are now focusing on 24-hour profile that you accumulate day after day after day. So what's happening, if you know the signature of a particular day where you are non-compliant versus a day where you have the drops or the device is working correctly, it's very easily that this signature will be compared, and statistically, you'll be able to have a high degree of confidence when the patient actually didn't take the drug.
Fascinating. Tell me a little bit about your future plans for this device. Is this something that you're hoping would be acquired, or do you plan to turn it into a small and medium-sized enterprise?
So, clearly our focus obviously is to develop a platform. It's not going to be a one-trick pony. We will go from diagnostic device, but we also have in our roadmap a therapeutic device. And I won't be able to give too much detail on that, but it's the same platform that will allow us to really go to a new paradigm called precision medicine. So based on our portfolio of options, as a side note, our sensor can also be integrated for neurosurgery, neurosurgery application to measure ICP pressure. And we already demonstrated that we can do that. So we clearly will become an enabling platform for some major strategic, and we're already discussing with some of them.
Back to your grant, how do you think that this will allow you to develop the company further?
I think that the key element of the grant is it is helping us to facilitate the path to a pilot human study. And the key component of this grant is now we have into this initiative, Johns Hopkins, the Wilmer Eye Institute will be part of the preclinical studies, and they will allow us with the full brain power of Johns Hopkins to reach to the full potential of how we interpret the data.
Fantastic. Well, Ariel, thank you so much for joining us today. I think you have a fascinating product on your hands.
Absolutely. And we know that the patient cannot wait, the physician cannot wait. We're doing everything we can to bring that to market, most likely in the 24-25 timeframe.
Well, all the best to this new platform out there in California, and we hope you can bring it to the world.
Absolutely, we will.